If you love what you do for work, I want to hear from you. What's your role and what do you enjoy about it? But if you need career help, we're here for you too. Shazia is with us today, Shazia Bharuchi. She is a career guidance practitioner here in Dubai, postgrad cert career in guidance in the UK, and helps people with career guidance, job search, CVs, personal development. I hope you're feeling full of beans because you're going to be busy this hour. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. Now, it's really interesting because there's been a few different themes that have come up on the messages we've had. But before we get to text line and about, what you're all about, if someone's just turned on the radio,
Okay.
what are they going to get from this next hour, do you think, Shazia?
Well, hopefully we can talk a little bit about women and how they navigate their careers and what challenges we might possibly face, how to transition, whether you are in the workspace or you're returning to work. And I know that's a lot of traction recently about this issue. Career advancement strategies and, for working women and also women who've been out of work, gaps in the career development in the workplace and changing mindsets. So hopefully we can, CVs, I know we've already got CV in.
You've got some CVs in front of you, which we're going to be, offering some constructive advice on. What brought you to this career?
Ooh, how long have you got?
About 30 seconds.
Okay. Well, actually, I was studying my degree in business and marketing, and I sort of fell into it. In the career guidance field, we call it happenstance. So being in the right place at the right time. And I saw an advert as a student, thought I need some money as a part-time job, looked interesting, working for the National Career Service. Started that, absolutely loved it, thrived, took a huge risk and said, I'm not doing my degree. This is a profession that maybe I want to pursue. Wow. And it was just emerging then. Careers was like, what's careers?
Careers to me, and I can tell you, I was at Queen Elizabeth High School, where I grew up, in the library, and there was this really dreadful computer program, and you filled out a questionnaire. And to my knowledge, the only answers that were available, you could be a probation officer, a shoe designer, a silversmith. I think I was given that. Nothing that felt like it could be tangible. And there was certainly no idea of this is where you want to be, so this is how you're going to get there. And I think that missing piece has really been the downfall, or a hugely confusing part for an awful lot of, students, which I was then, but also when we get to, life stages, crossroads, and think, I'm not doing what I want to do. Yeah,
and I really haven't got a clue how to navigate that. And I feel like it's unfortunately the lack of support at the right time when we were choosing our subjects for somebody rather than a computer system to say, listen, what are you actually interested in, and what are your skills and what would suit you as an individual? It's the lack of that has resulted in a lot of adults not really liking the careers they're in.
Well, what percentage of people do you think actually enjoy their jobs?
That's a good question. I wonder what the listeners think, maybe.
Well, it's interesting. We've had messages already. Some people, as I said, needing your advice. And some people reaching out saying what they do for work. Kerry says, speech and language therapist, love my job. It's a challenge in a good way. I learn so much every day. Pete, structural engineer, love it. But as I said, we have got people who need a bit of advice, asking if you don't have any Dubai experience, getting back into the workplace after having kids. We're going to be talking about reframing this kind of career break as well. If you've got any questions, do reach out. The time is now 4001. You do, of course, have the option to give us a call as well. And I'm so grateful to actually speak to one of our regular listeners, friend of the show. Isabella, how are you?
Hi, and I'm good, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what you're going through and how our career guidance practitioner, Shazia, can help you today. What's happening with you?
Okay, so with me, it's when it comes to my career, my issue is with finding a job. I graduated in 2016 in interior design and architecture and completed 3 internships between 2018 and 2020. But I haven't been able to find a job since 2020 and COVID.
I mean, graduating pre-COVID and then obviously the last few years we've had, hugely challenging. So you haven't had your first job yet. You're looking to kind of get onto that career ladder. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Shazia, what comes to mind?
Hi, Isabella. Thank you so much for calling in. And I'm sorry that you haven't. I'm sorry that you haven't found an opportunity yet. I mean, coming out of COVID has been really difficult on the market. It's quite saturated at the moment. So, what I'd suggest is you try and get yourself out there and network, and maybe even consider starting this as your own business. I mean, DED, the Department of Economics, are really, really easy to approach to talk about maybe a freelancer license where you can start practicing, maybe build a portfolio, and then try to approach businesses who can actually see your worth. Get yourself out there in the networking platforms like face-to-face. Try and get some sort of, like a partnership or even voluntary work, some sort of internship, which is more recent. The issue is that you've got experience of an internship, but it's been quite some time. So it's created quite a gap on your CV. So we need to fill that gap with something.
The networking thing is a really interesting point, because especially in these communities, these industries, talking about interior design and architecture, those are, even though Dubai is a big city, they must be quite small spaces in terms of needing an extra pair of hands for a project, or needing expertise from a different area. Isabella, are there any kind of professional networks that you could get in touch with, or even groups that you think would be quite beneficial that you haven't reached out to yet?
Not that I know of, because when it came to networking, I've been in different events. I've met many CEOs and many people, but I haven't got luck with that, even LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. So LinkedIn would work at a point, but then after that, it wasn't working. So that's the thing.
I mean, Isabella, I think usually when we go out to network, we think I need to network with CEOs and I need to network with a certain level of caliber. But a lot of work comes out of networking with people who are mums, whose husbands are in certain jobs.
Fellow small businesses
who, can't afford to pay such high prices, but need an extra hand for a project. Mm-hmm. A lot of freelancers. I mean, there's a big community called Mompreneurs on Facebook. There's a lot of Facebook groups.
I was just about to say the female fusion would be a really good one for you, Isabella. There's also the Girls Who Thrive. I'm going to have a little think for you, and I'll send you some names on text. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great. That's perfect.
Thank you so much. But I think, Shazia, your point there about being proactive rather than reactive. You mentioned DED Cafe there. The guys down there are incredible. Go down, and if you're on someone else's visa, even easier. You can get business license from about 1,200 dirhams and just get started. And I think that what that can do for your confidence is actually I've got some forward momentum now.
Exactly, and it fills that gap nicely. A lot of women say to me, Shazia, I've got this gap. Nobody's looking at me. They think I'm unemployable now after I've had kids. But there is a way. You strategically think, okay, how can I fill this gap? Maybe I need to upskill. Maybe I need to go and get myself a license. And I know it's a very saturated market, lots of, entrepreneurs. But if you have a passion and you have the skill, you will shine.
Shazia with us today. For anyone who wants your details, what's the best way of getting in touch now?
The best way, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. So every social media platform, you can find me.
Tell you what, if you want to send me the word career, I'll send you those links so you can have a nosy while we listen to the police. If you love what you do from work, we want to hear from you. What's your role? What do you love about it? And if you need some career help, well, we've got your back too. Shazia Bharuchi is with us today. She's a career guidance practitioner here in Dubai. Here with some no-nonsense advice, some golden nuggets of identifying what you want to do and how to get it. Sahib saying, head of IR, love my job. No, this is saying, I love my job. Was stagnating in my previous one as an academic elsewhere. Now I'm an academic leader at a uni in Sharjah. Hannah says being a teacher of FS is the best. And speaking of pets and vets, I had a message saying I'm a veterinary care assistant, love my job, interact with a variety of animals every day, mainly cats and dogs, but the pay isn't great. Shazia, I want to know from you, crimes against CVs. If a resume passes your desk or lands in your email, what are some of your big turn-offs where you're just like, pass me the red pen, let's go to work?
Well, the first thing is extremely colourful CVs. You have to remember this is a professional narrative of your career. I've seen from pinks to oranges to bright blues and fluorescents. That's my pet hate. The employer is looking for your story, what worth you can add what value you can give to them, who you are, what your capabilities are. So the focus needs to be on the content. A lot of people spend hours and hours on Canva, on templates, making it look aesthetically pleasing and think that's going to impress.
So thinking about form over functions,
Yeah.
style over substance.
Absolutely.
Let's talk substance there. You're talking there about adding value. How important is it to kind of really drill down into the numbers and, talk about, increasing profits by X% or, market reach, those kind of specifics? Is that advised?
Absolutely. I mean, you are presenting yourself as a professional to these prospective employers. So they want to see how you're going to benefit their company. At the end of the day, that's what they're looking for. So you've got to showcase what you can do, how you can do this, and what value you can add and what result you can get. Quantifiable. And if you can't have quantifiable numbers, then you put down the impact you've created by doing that. So they absolutely love that.
Does size matter? I've heard 2 sheets of CV maximum, but that can be quite hard if you've had a 20 or even 40-year career.
Well, the advice is that if you think about how saturated the market is, how many CVs land on desks, how much time people have to look through, if you've got an essay on that table of 5 pages, it's not going to be seen. It has to be concise. The last 10 to 15 years of your career. And that's what they're interested in. And, any additional information, anything excess just needs to come out. We don't want to know what you did at school.
Oh, I was just about to say, I've been working for 20 years now. Should I take my GCSE results off?
Yes, Helen, absolutely.
They were
We don't
quite
want to know
decent.
your father and mother's background. I've seen that.
Hobbies. I mean, do you want a bit of personality on there? Or sure, you like going to the cinema. That's not that interesting.
Hobbies, if they're relevant and if you've got space.
Okay.
If we limit it to 2 pages, employers love detail. I mean, in the UK, 1 page is sufficient, but in the UAE, 2 pages tell us who you are.
Message here saying, photo or not, should you include your nationality on your resume?
Oh my goodness, this is a bit of a hot topic and debate. So in the UK, we're absolutely not. It was like no judgments, discrimination. Over here, it works slightly different. People like to see pictures on the CV. I personally wouldn't, because you need the employers to see you for your worth and not what you look like, what your nationality is. I personally wouldn't. I've never put it on. I don't advise. I say, okay, look, it's up to you. If you prefer that, it's going to, as long as it's not a personal picture of Facebook or Instagram
in the
or
club.
you on a holiday. If it's something professional, then go for it if that's what you want. But I mean, what value is it going to add?
No bikini shots. What about nationality though? Because we have seen job adverts where they are specifying
Nationality, yeah. And this comes back to, my feelings about discrimination, why are employers specifying nationality? What difference is it going to make in capabilities? That's my question.
I agree. Unfortunately, it does, because you do have companies specifying nationality, and unfortunately, we do have companies with that dictating salary, still to this day, which is, well, to my mind, obscene, but it is what it is. So with other CV bits of advice, do you include references on your CV, or is that something that you might come to once you get to interview stage?
Yeah, I think you just leave that, because again, we're trying to use that space really strategically and get all the stuff in there that's really, really going to be important to showcase who you are. They can ask you for references later on. There's no need.
Okay, confession time. I only look at my CV when somebody asks for it, which can be years and years of it living on a dusty laptop, just sitting there at the desktop and being ignored. When it comes to updating your CV, and I guess by proxy updating your LinkedIn, it's supposed to be a living, breathing document.
Absolutely. It's something that should be updated as regularly as possible. If you upskill, if you get experience, have done a project, keep it up to date. And as you keep it up to date, the previous work experience then will sort of just gradually fizzle out and you've got all your up-to-date projects and stuff. So you can really showcase who you are.
You're fresh and dynamic. We're talking careers now, and joining us in the studio to guide us through a whole range of topics from transition, change, rediscovery, CVs. We have got Shazia Bharuchi. She's a career guidance practitioner. Loads of you are asking for her details. If you send me the word career, I will hook you up. I had a question from Layla saying, my question is, any advice on starting a new career or industry at she's saying, older age? I reached my 40s and I still don't know what I want to do. Is that normal? And any tips on how to find out what I want to do?
That's absolutely normal. Please feel validated that is very normal for many people, not just at your 40s, but even before that. Most likely it's because you've never had the chance to sit down and really think, what skills have I got? What do I actually love to do? What would I like to really try and give it a go? Trying lots of different things might bring up career ideas for you. So there's a lot more we can do.
No, we've had a message from Veronica saying, not a question, but a shout out to Shazia. She's an amazing, empowering woman, supportive, motivational. And the best part is her honesty and kindness. Love you. I want to ask about the role of a coach then, because presumably for an awful lot of people, and women in particular, and we're going to be, we can talk about that identity piece. It can be really confusing. Like, who am I? What I want to do? How have I found myself down this track? But to have someone external to say, these are your skills. This is what you've learned. This is what motherhood has taught you. This is where you can add value to the workplace. It must be so, so crucial. So as I said, if you want Shazia's details, you can send the word career to 4001. We've got Angela on the line. Angela, we spoke a few weeks ago when we were talking about part-time work, or should I say complete lack of part-time work. I understand you've got a bit of an update for us. What's going on?
Yes, I've just landed my first interview tomorrow.
Yay!
So,
Congratulations!
Yay for a part-time role.
I'm
yay.
so pleased.
So after staying up till midnight typing CVs and online applications, I've cracked one interview. So pat on the back and thank you for your help to get to this point.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. Honestly, I think it's really, really important just to keep these conversations going and hear from experts in all sorts of different fields. So how do you feel the interview went? Or have you had the interview yet or not?
I just had a phone interview, and then tomorrow I'm going to the premises to have an in-person interview.
Okay, right. We've only got about a minute left with Shazia. So Shazia, can you share with Angela your top tips to nail the interview?
Okay, Angela, just have a look at the company profile and just have a good read about what their values and ethics are. Think about some of the questions that they may ask. Have a little practice. And in the morning before you leave, look at yourself in the mirror and give yourself a high five and say, I can do this. You've been given this opportunity because you are capable. And just take it easy. Give lots of examples. Take your time. If you don't understand, just ask them to rephrase the question. Remember, you're there to seek for a job, but they also want to see whether you're going to be worth that job. But also, the company has to suit you and what you need.
Absolutely. Honestly, Angela, this is what my mum said before every single job interview I had from my, from my teens up until recent day. They would be lucky to have you, and that interview works both ways. You need to see if it's a fit for you just as much. They don't hold all the power, so just remember that. Will you let us know how it goes?
I shall do that.
Good luck.
Thank you. Good luck.
Good luck. We will be keeping the conversation going. I've just heard literally there is a new website launching tomorrow on UA Mother's Day that is going to be looking at career breaks and returnships. So we'll be hearing from them very soon. In the meantime, Shazia, tell us a little bit about your project and what we need to know about Connect Her.
Okay, Connect Her is a project with me and a colleague of mine who struggled to get back to the workplace after a break. And we decided that we wanted to give women who've had a break the opportunity to connect with employers who are open to taking on people who've had a break, because these are professional women. I've got architects, I've got engineers, I've got accountants sitting at home wanting to work, but the only thing that's there in the middle is the break. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do is we've got candidates, we're working with employers who are open to this, and we're going to have an event and put these guys together, and hopefully they can network and they can get some great opportunities. So if you are an employer who's interested in this, please reach out.
Okay, well, I'm going to send you, as I said, if you want, whether you are on the employee or the employer side, you want to know more about Connect Her, you're looking for some coaching, a bit of perspective and support from Shazia, send me the word career to 4001. It's been an absolute whirlwind of an hour with you, you powerhouse. Thank you so much for joining us. You'll come back, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Helen.
My pleasure. Shazia Bharuchi, if you want her details, send me the word career to 4001. We've got Carly Simon now. Pets and Vets coming your way in just a few minutes. And lovely to hear about some of your stories. From career changes, no regrets, says Richard, and just some of the things that you love to do. Really great stuff.
By 103.8.
Join the conversation.